Hopefully this will work out pretty well. So, hello, I am starting a little bit late because I set an alarm and then promptly got doing something else that I forgot to do, and now we're just starting. So, I will just kind of get my stuff organized. I think I have everything. I mean, time will tell. You know I'm terrible and I always end up forgetting something that I have to go and pick up from my desk or wherever, but we'll see if maybe today I remembered everything. So I definitely need my glue. And I don't know what colors we're gonna do actually. Actually, I think we're gonna do this pen. No, we're gonna stick with brown. I think that's gonna be better. So, all right, let's see. My tripod setup is such that I can kind of see comments, but it's kind of at an odd angle. So I will try and check in periodically on those. And if I miss them, I apologize. So we are going to do my March setup live, mostly because I wanted to put off filming until it was a little closer to the end of the month, because then you can see more of my setups filled in. And then as I was like getting into my first week back from vacation, I realized that I had grades done and I did not have time to film. So we're doing a live, that way I can give you guys a video and I don't have to worry about getting it up on time because there's no editing kind of associated with it. So that's kind of the rationale behind here. Also, I haven't done a live stream plan with me in a couple of months, and so I figured it might be kind of fun with the new setup that I've got, so I can show you how that is coming together. Hello. So before we jump into March, we're going to take a look at February. Yep, that's our current month. Promptly forget every month I'm ever living in as soon as I sit down to film, and I always think it's like 2 months in the future. So February. So here is my little intro page, and I've got my intentions. I actually have done really, really well with intentions this month. I also kept them more, I guess, concrete, shall we say, and also they were kind of related to stuff I really just needed to get done. I have to do this last thing for grades on Monday, so that will get finished before the end of the month, and I am technically filming March Plan with me, so we're counting that done as well. So the only thing I will still have to kind of do some work on is grading and prep, and I'm like, it's never ending, so I've been working on a lot of it. It's just, you know, never quite done. So overall, I would say intentions are pretty good. In terms of stuff that I've done this week, I've got everything up to yesterday. What did I do yesterday? Oh, I did some prep. And I think that was about it. And today was a housework day, so I did cleaning and laundry and cooking. Okay, so that is up to that. This trip is actually not happening, so I can just cross that out. And then I've got my tracker, which is actually up to date for today. So I've just got a couple more days to fill in there. Actually, can I zoom in a little? Ooh, no, too much, sorry. Oops, hope nobody's seasick. So yes, and I actually had already written down a little bit in my review because, as you can see, the reading page of Doom, I've actually completely filled this up, and I've actually got a page thread down here because I needed more space. And so the second edition bullet journal only has 206 pages, and last year I used like 220, which means I'm like maybe going to squeak through the entire year, which means that I don't really have any extra pages that I can dedicate to like an extra reading log, which means I page threaded it back to my January reading log, and so I've just got this little February reading continued, and I've got like 3 days left in the month. If I fill this up, then we have a problem. So that was kind of my little weird fix for that. But I will say, after having posted that video about my 2021 reading, I wanted to make a note for myself. So when I'm like looking back at this, I remember that my stress level has been a lot better lately. And so I've been reading, like I read a lot during my holidays, but not to the exclusion of all else. I actually was like doing stuff and reading, and I just managed to be very prolific in what I read. So it's a good amount of reading, not stress-driven reading. So that's basically what that has so far. So I have gotten that set up, got a couple things on my anti-racism tracker, and actually I have one more thing I want to do before the end of the month, which I need to make a note of that. I need scratch paper. Why don't I have any scratch paper? Okay, well, guess what I forgot? So, without fail, there's something that I forget when I'm pulling everything over. And of course, because I don't film at my desk, it's not just like right there. So, keep this. So, just made a note for something I need to do a little bit later. So that is the tracking pages, and then jumping into weeklies and dailies. These have actually been going really well. I like this setup. It's actually, I think, helped me really focus on what I want to get done during the week and kept me from cluttering up my weeklies and my dailies to the point that I migrate less, I think. I don't get the feeling that I'm like not writing stuff down or whatever, but it feels like I'm getting a little bit better about gauging that. And that could just be like the time period. This might come back around and bite me in the butt in a couple of months when I'm like, no, I'm migrating everything because I'm super stressed and I don't know what I was thinking. But for now, it's working pretty well. I have been able to fit in a tiny little review. Actually in February, because I've been better stuff on my weekly, I have had room to do it down here. So you'll see that all of my weeklies, I've actually had room to do stuff down here. I do still have a couple of things on the weekly level that do end up getting migrated, but most of my daily level stuff I've actually been able to complete because I don't move it to the day until I'm ready to do it, unless it's something like going to work or, you know, stuff like that. But a lot of this stuff, if I am not sure if I'll get to it that day, I'll leave it on my weekly. And then if I do get to it, I'll move it to the daily. Otherwise, it just lives over here. So that's actually been working pretty well. So this is for this week. Give that a little move. Case in point, I have a lot more stuff over here. However, I've actually done a fair bit of stuff. I just have not been in my bullet journal today, and so I didn't actually update all the stuff I got done. So most of this bottom section is actually just like housework. Wait, I've done 1, 2, and I meant to start my third load of laundry, but I feel like it didn't start, and it's gonna have to wait until after I finish filming because yeah. So going pretty well. I've got a couple of things that I haven't actually gotten to. We'll see if I get to them before the end of the weekend. A lot of this stuff, like for example, zero inbox is kind of a never-ending battle. So it's one of those things that if it migrates to next week, it's not the end of the world. And then for, my daily, done this, I'll go ahead and fill in. I'm just gonna fill in. So this is a perfect example where I had planned to do my cleaning and housework stuff this weekend, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna get to it today or tomorrow. And so I put the 2 things I knew for sure on today because they were basically appointments. But I left the rest of my daily empty, and it turned out that I did do my cleaning today. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill those in on my daily so that when I come back, I know that I actually did those on Saturday. It's just for me, you know, I like to know what I do in a given day. So that actually has been working out pretty well because there have been past times where I put it on like Monday and I don't get to it until Friday. And so I'm trying to be a little better about doing it on the day I actually do it. And sometimes I'll actually mark it next to it. Like I'll just do like a little dash in whatever day I end up filling it out or whatever day I end up doing the task with. So this is actually going to be straight into March. And I've got a couple of things already planned because I know that doing it live just ends up taking a little bit longer. So I didn't want to have it to be too long. So I actually have already picked out my color scheme and my quote. And I've also planned out a lot of my March intentions. I ended up doing some goal planning with my patrons during our live chat this Thursday. And I ended up doing my March intentions at the same time, which is working out really well because then I can show you exactly what I plan to do. So our color scheme is going to be sort of springy green, and I like kind of don't do all one color anymore. Like even when I did the purples, it was like red, or sorry, not purples, pinks. I did like kind of reds and pinks. And so I wanted to have like a little different pop of colors. So these are actually not this bottom most one. These are the greens that we're going with. And I just pulled out one of my pencil sign pens as well, because I really like having one of those during a month. And then my quote, all right, so move those. I don't need to hold them right now. So my quote is I think that's supposed to be an S. Silence makes the real conversation. Yeah, it's supposed to be an S, right? I'm an English teacher. I should know this. Silence makes the real conversation between friends, not the saying, but the never needing to say that counts. Sorry that my handwriting is so messy. Anyway, Margaret Lee Runbeck, and I wanted to go with kind of like a friendship theme. And I don't know. I feel like start of spring and friendship, that always goes together for me. So that was kind of the theme that I went with. So when I searched for quotes, I think I just did like friendship quotes on Goodreads, as all of my quotes come from Goodreads, as you know. So that is going to be our quote. It's like, a medium length one, which is good. So I can do some brush lettering because I've got the Pentel sign pen, but I think the rest of it is probably going to be done with the bullet point of this, just because otherwise it's going to be a little bit hard to fit it all in. So yeah, I guess, literally, because it is March in like 2 days, I don't really have to count out any pages or anything like that. So we can just like jump right on in. All right, scratch paper is necessary. So when I was kind of writing this out, I had sort of an idea, and I didn't really follow that when I was writing down the quote, but I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to split this line into 2 lines, because I think it's just going to be too long. Between silence and conversation, like it's not going to fit all on one page. And then I think actually the rest of them are fine. I basically started splitting it correctly after that first line, and I was like, oh wait, too long. So the rest of this should be fine. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 lines, which I feel like I want to do something different, because every time I set up my quote, or most of the time when I set up my quote, I feel like what I do is I set it up at the top of the left page, and then I do my month at the bottom of the right page. And I kind of want to do it differently. I think what I want to do is start the quote at the bottom and then do March up at the top. And I'm going to have to do it backwards, because I cannot be trusted to figure out the spacing otherwise. So I think that's what we're going to try and go for. How do we want to do this? So I think that I'm going to do accent stuff in the Pentel sign pen. So we're going to do this one. You know what? I actually want to do real friends. We're going to do this one. This one. This one. I'm trying to do different accent words, because like my natural like inclination, and the reason why it always ends up being at the end of a line, is I would normally say like this would be my accent word, but then this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and that's all the ends of the lines. And I'm trying really hard to like mess around with some different things. So I want to do it this way and accent slightly different words than I would like naturally do. So I think that's going to be good. And then I think I'm going to do gray for all of our little words. Yeah, because they'll kind of like fade into the background then. And then I kind of want to just do the bright green and then do this green for my March. So I think we'll do kind of like that. Yes. And then I think I'm actually going to do the attribution in gray. So let's see how that looks. Make sure I'm in frame. So I think we're gonna this is gonna be very awkward, because I'm basically gonna do parts of it very much backwards, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. So whenever I film these as I don't do a time lapse during this thing, I always end up chatting. And the ideal thing would be to have asked questions that I can answer while I'm doing that. And guess who did not think of that until just this second? So if you have a question, let me know and I'll try and keep an eye on the chat. But otherwise, there might be long stretches of silence, and I can't even do background music because I've had that happen with other live chats that I do where it gets copyrighted because I put on a playlist and I like don't even think about it. So it's just going to be silent background, you know, which is not bad. I don't mind silence. It's just kind of nice to have like something going on in the background when you're just like writing. I guess this counts as like ASMR, scratching paper. How are we gonna do this here? I think we're gonna start at jump up 2. Yeah, okay. I think we're going for like a very blocky thing. So I actually, okay, YouTube live stream and I are gonna have words because I actually made a really cute thumbnail that we're gonna pretend I didn't do like 2 minutes before I started filming. And I went to upload it when I started the live and it like wouldn't work. And I've had this happen where it just like, I don't know if it's because I've got so many photos on my phone at this point, but it's like I take a photo and it immediately gets bumped to the cloud. And for whatever reason, when I click on it to like put it up as a thumbnail, that's the word, as a thumbnail in a live chat, it like doesn't register that it needs to download. And so I'm just like sitting there like an idiot waiting for it to download and it's not doing anything. And so I have to go in and like fix the thumbnail after the fact. So there is like a kind of cute thumbnail, but I actually had done my normal style thumbnail to be like ready to put up and it would not let me set it up. So I don't know why. It's a thing. It happens basically every single time. My patrons get a lot of pictures of me doing the peace sign because that's like the fast like picture I usually end up taking before I start. And then after the live chat is over, I'll do a real thumbnail because it just like, I tried really hard for a long time to get the thumbnails like ready to go beforehand. And like 9 times out of 10, it just would not let me upload it. And so I just gave up, which is annoying. Like you think that that should be better because they clearly have designed it so that you can do your own thumbnail if you want, but for whatever reason, it doesn't work for me. So anyway, that's why the thumbnail is what it is. Apparently we're doing very simple, probably because it's easy for me to do while I talk. So wait, I do this one, so. All right. This is actually kind of therapeutic to just like print. I'm not really worried too much about things being super artistic. I'm just going for like new spring leaves, neat. Like that is just linked in my brain. So that makes sense somehow for me. I always forget this green pen tends to bleed, and the reason that I ended up going with it for this one is because this paper is thick enough that I think it's going to be fine, but it just like, it writes a little bit weird compared to my other Pentel Sign pens, and I don't love it, but it's the only one I have of that color, so it is what it is. Okay, there. I think doing this bottom to top is actually making me go slower than normal, and this might be, well, not to speak too soon, but this might be one of the neater quotes that I will have ever done. Also, it definitely is easier to space when I'm doing printing just because I can control it a little bit more than when I'm doing brush lettering, because sometimes I start a swoop and don't quite know where it's going to end, and then it takes up more or less space than I thought it would, and that's just the way it goes. Let's see. I should probably check and just see if I'm missing anything on the chat because I can't see it. Okay, good. Friends here. Cursive Fs. We had this issue in February. We have it again. Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna do kind of a goofy. I didn't like that. It should have been tilted differently. Oh well, too late now. Okay. Okay, so, oops, no, I still need you. So I need to pull this a little closer to me. I'm getting a little far away for the angle that I like to write in. So it's kind of funny that the thumbnail I actually have already done is completely printed. When normally I have at least part of it that's typically like brush lettered. So I think that it was already kind of like in my brain that I was planning on printing for March, even if I didn't really like, consciously think about it before. Up. There. Okay, so our quote, ooh, that looks cute actually. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just do March up here, and we are going to come across one of my other least favorite letters to do uppercase, which is M. Yeah, we're gonna go with it. We'll see how it works. So. Ooh, that was weird. So, my R is a little more squishy than I would have liked, but oh well. But that's actually kind of well centered. Cool. I will take it. I want to do a drop shadow. We are not going to go hog wild on the drop shadow like I did last year. Last year for March was the sunset theme, and my drop shadow got a little weird. We're not going to do that this time. Just very simple. Single line little. Ugh, nerds. That was too close. Oh well. So, little simple drop shadow, and then I think we're just gonna do 2022. No, wait, what color? Yeah, no, actually I want to do it that color. Okay. Ooh. Okay. What do we think about doing 2022 and like have little brackets, or doing it under here? Because initially I was like, okay, obviously I'm gonna like put it under here, but like, do we want to do it there, or do we want to like take up the entire line and do like a little bracket situation? I don't know. I feel like it maybe is a little bit too squished if I do it up here. Let's do it small down here, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. This is actually my half-foot point. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so that is our intro page, so I can move that out of the way. So next up, we are gonna do our monthly long, okay, yes, I'm glad that was, okay, right? Like it would have been cute if it had been like March had been smaller, but it's too squished if I had done it that way. Thank you for vindicating my decision. So, did I not check how many days were in March? It's 31 days, right? Wait, oh crap. Hold on, it's 31 days. I'm like 95% sure. But, 31, yes. Okay, good. I confirmed on my calendar on my computer because I can't like come out of the live chat or the live stream otherwise. Oh, see, this marker. It's just like ink everywhere. Cool, thanks for that. So 31 days, yes, that's what I needed to know. Wait, I had the page and then I lost the page. So we are gonna do, I think we're gonna just do this one. So there, and then that's 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay. Oh, excuse you, shaky hands. There. The framing is different on my phone than it is on my camera, and so yeah. Oh, the stencil. So this is kind of a funny story. I actually got a paper blanks notebook from a colleague for Christmas. And for the first time ever, it's not lined. It's actually a dot grid. And it was like it's like kind of bigger than an A5, but I think it's smaller than a B5. And it had this stencil in the front. And I was like, oh, that's great. Like, I don't know when I'll ever use this, but I'm going to throw it in with my bullet journal so at least I have it on hand. So that is actually why. Now, if I were smart, I would use the ruler side. Well, no, if I weren't me, I would use the ruler side drawing my straight lines, but we all know that I don't buy into that. Okay, so we've got this, that. Okay, so wait, where's my, here. Lost the bottom of my pen. Okay, so February ends on a Monday, which means first week is gonna have 6 days. So, okay. There. 2, 4, 6, 7, 2. Nope. Do the full line. I am always worried I'm gonna miscount. And because I'm worried I'm gonna miscount, I like don't trust myself when I count it, and so then I have to count it like 3 times sometimes. It's a problem. So there, 2, 4, wait, no, 2, 4, 6, crap. What did I say? 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh, goodness. Okay, there. I don't actually have a real calendar to confirm that I did that correctly, but it should be fine. 2, yeah, we should be good too. Yeah, as long as my first one is good, I'm usually good on the rest of them. Right, so we're gonna stick with rainbow because I want to stick with rainbow. I think it's this one. Hi. Yeah, I know it's kind of a weird time for some people, but this is honestly, I think, generally the least terrible time for most time zones. I'm sure I'm missing some time zone, but it's kind of hard to get all of them. Also, the fact, where's my scissors here? The fact that I am not a night owl, nor do I have any real desire to film at like 5 a.m. So yeah, it's 5 p.m. here in France, and wait, no, it starts on Tuesday. I don't actually need Monday. What am I doing? There we go. That's right. Yeah, so it's 5 p.m. here in France, and it's actually getting kind of late in the evenings, which is really nice. I mean, we're going to have our clocks change. I don't even remember when. And so it's actually like not quite so dismal because it's late until like 6:30ish instead of, like 4:30. So I need my numbers. Actually, I literally need both of these because I have to do this for my tracker as well. So, okay, excuse you. Stop being twisty. There. No, 6. There. All right, so got our little monthly log. I'm gonna do, so wait, March, April. And we're gonna just do a sign pen. This is I almost wrote April. Jeez Louise. Okay. So we've got March and I've got intentions. I think it was in February that I accidentally used a brush pen to do intentions and was like, why isn't this working right? Oh yeah, because I typically have been using just like a regular marker and it lets me do fast cursive. So I've actually got my intentions more or less planned out. So once I get my little squares in here, we're gonna take a look at that. This is our halfway, how do we wanna do this? Like here. It's honestly arbitrary. I don't know why I'm worrying about it. So got my little squares in. So what I kind of did figuring out my March intentions is I took a look at what I still had open on quarter one, because April's the start of quarter two. So like what's left in quarter one that I still haven't gotten done, what's left from February that I still haven't gotten done, which I actually did a pretty good job on February. So I'm doing basically different intentions altogether. And based on that and based on what I wanted to do in quarter two, I decided which things from quarter one I wanted to try and get done in March, which things from quarter one I wasn't going to get to in March, and so I need to push them to quarter two. And that was how I came up with my intentions. So we are going to go ahead. So the first one is actually this isn't a top 5 goal this year actually, but it has been, and I decided I was going to do my brown pen. It has been like 6 years since I have actually wanted to go to Italy to do this immersion class, and like 2.5 years since I paid the deposit to the school I want to go to, and I've had to keep like bumping my trip. And so I have decided that my priority for this summer is to go and do that program. Like I have wanted to do it for so long, and I'm afraid if I put it off for 1 more year, I'm just like not gonna do it. So I actually, so book. Okay. So I have picked out a couple of very concrete things that I need to do in order to make progress on like getting that set. I am not even going to try and do it before the summer. Like I've decided that the summer is when I'm going to focus on doing that. So that is good. Yeah, so that's a big one. And then let's do, these two ones are kind of easy. This one's a bigger one. I'm going to put the like bigger ones up top and then the not as big ones down here. They're not like necessarily less important, but like slightly more involved, we'll say. So this one's gonna be, and okay, so what I wanna do, I'm gonna kind of go backwards now, is kind of in the order that I've written them, but not in the order I'm putting them on the paper. So I actually started watching a TV series in Korean with Korean subtitles, and I would like to finish it. One thing I need to actually do is, I think I'm on episode like 9. I think I'm on episode 9, so I need to finish, so episode 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. That's a lot of episodes to try and finish. You know what? We're going to do our best. I'll migrate whatever I don't finish. But it's been one of those things that I was like super like dedicated about watching 30 minutes every day for a while. And then basically I went back to work, and I like doing it first thing in the morning usually. And so I just like haven't been doing it. So I want to focus on that in March, because I've been really not doing a lot of language stuff lately. Just either I've been really busy with work, or I've had to focus on other things, and my brain can only focus on so many things at once. And so language has been kind of back burner for a while. So I want to work on that. I have one of my top 5 goals is to go through all of my UFO and mending. And the thing is, when I set up during Mega Goal Week, I like set up the page in my top 5. So here, I set up the page in my, like the space in my top 5, and I never filled it in. It is the end of February. I still haven't filled it in. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Not even starting on any of it, but literally making the list of things that I have like variously hidden around my studio that I want to eventually mend or finish. And like maybe then I'll actually start working on them, because as it is, it's just a blank page, and I don't even necessarily know what projects I'm counting as this until I sit down and do it. So that is going to be the first step, is taking inventory. And then the final one is actually one that I need to finish basically before April. So my parents are hopefully, like fingers crossed, coming to visit for my April holidays, and I need to make a shirt. So I told my dad that I would work on this like 1920s workman's shirt that, I don't know if I've talked about it on here, probably at some point. I know I've talked about it a lot on my Patreon lives, because they get all the updates on my sewing stuff. But basically, he wants me to make sort of a historic shirt, because he's got vintage cars that he likes to drive, because my granddad was a mechanic, and like, what's the word? Not fix them up. There's another word for it. Renovated them? No, that's for a house. Oh my God. Rebuilt them. So I've had the fabric and the pattern for ages. I finally finished putting the pattern together during my February holidays, because it was literally like 200 pages. It's one of these patterns where it's like, it spans men's shirts for like 100 years or something. And it's got like a bunch of different versions. It gives you a bunch of different like neckwear options, which is great, but it takes up a lot of paper. So I finally got it all like set up. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, it'd be so cute if I could give him, like make him a matching like neckerchief and maybe a handkerchief. And I spelled handkerchief wrong. I literally like forgot 2 letters. What the heck? I just wrote handkerchief. That's not a thing. Handkerchief. There we go. I was thinking it'd be cute to get, because it's going to be, I got Oxford cloth, and so I'm going to do a blue and white stripe with white accents. And I was thinking that it would be really cute to do like a print, like maybe a poplin or a cotton lawn or something like that, in a really nice print, and give him a matching neckerchief and handkerchief. So I need to look for some fabric for that. Obviously, the shirt is the top priority, but I would really love to like do this little set, so he has kind of a little vintagey set that he can wear together. And then while I was thinking about it, I wanted to make a bag for my mom. She doesn't really, like, it's not going to be a purse style, but like a tote bag style. So I have this bag pattern that I use that I love doing embroidery on. Like it's a really great canvas for doing kind of like, medium to large embroidery patterns. And I was thinking about making her one with dragonflies, because she loves dragonflies. So I was thinking about doing a set to do this bag that I like to do, and then I have these 2 zip pouch sets. So the bag is the, actually, in case any of you are sewists, so the shirt is the, oh my gosh, not black snail. Is it black snail? Crap. It is, no, it's, no, Laughing Moon. So it's the Laughing Moon Mercantile Men's Victorian and Edwardian shirt is the shirt pattern I'm going to make for my dad. And I'm pretty sure it actually has a thing for a neckerchief, and handkerchief is easy enough to do. And then the bag that I like to make is the Numi bag by Named Patterns, Named Clothing. I can't remember what it is. I have both of their sewing books, and it's in the first one. So I think it's in Breaking the Pattern, Building the Pattern. It's in the first book that they have. It's like the first project in there. It's super cute. It's got like exposed French seams and like all of this. And then I also love the Half Moon Zip Pouch by All Well Workshop. They are like, these are kind of my go-to bag and like zip pouch patterns because they're so cute and they're so functional. So Half Moon Zip set. And I also want to do embroidery on them. So I started this when I made my strawberry set back in the summer. So I basically got some fabric that had strawberries and some green gingham, and I embroidered like kind of a big one on the outside of the bag and then like a slightly smaller version, like descending size on the 2 zip pouches. And then I actually have made a set for a friend, and so I really want to make one for my mom because like it's hard to make like clothing for her because I need her there to like do fittings and stuff. But this I feel like I could do, and she could use it as like a grocery bag or a library bag or just like a going on a picnic bag or whatever. I think she would find a use for it. So I want to do those, and I have to do them before my parents come in April. So that's like big thing for March. So those are my intentions. I think we're gonna stop on this page because that was really long-winded explanation of all of that. Sorry about that if you're not interested in sewing. So we are going to go ahead and start on the tracker. So wait, I did it. We're gonna do light green as the outline because I did dark green as the outline for my other one. And past me was very smart, and no matter how long a month is, this is always my top point, and I just have like extra space down here. So because this is 31 days, I use the entire thing. When it's not 31 days, I use just like less space, but I can always like gauge off of the same top mark, which is really nice. I'm drawing this in like the absolute weirdest way possible, but it is what it is. And I've got, so 2, 3, and 4. How high up do I do that? So 2, 3, and 4, which I'm actually gonna draw the dividing lines in a different color, but it's just to mark my space. So I'll do it in a darker green so it shouldn't be too visible. And if it is, I don't really care. Oops, there. So, and I'm actually gonna do gray as my crossbar, because why not? So 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay. There. Let's see. So what? I should have these memorized by now. They haven't changed in like a year and a half, but I still sometimes forget. No, that's not the right one. It's actually dishes first. And because I always do it in the same order, I do have to fix it. Otherwise, I will definitely mess it up. Okay. Oopsie daisy. So now we need the same exact ones I just used. Start with the numbers this time, just because I found it first. Up. Nope. Come on. So I used to save all of like the little extra things that I end up cutting off, because on these overlay tapes, there's like I think on the numbers, it's like not to do, there's little hearts, and there's like the moon phases. And I used to save them because I was like, oh, I'll figure out a way to use this. And I've realized like I don't do stickers anywhere else. I literally just use the practical overlay tapes. And so I don't save them anymore. Like it just isn't something I'm gonna use, which is kind of a bummer. But I mean, I still use the majority of it because those little extra bits don't take up too much space, but yeah. I would honestly be perfectly happy to just have the tapes with just like the days of the week and just the numbers, because that's what I use. ultimately. Wait a sec. So we're starting on Tuesday. Okay. And so here we go. Okay. Bubble in there. Okay. I actually did already print out my anti-racism tracker. Last second, we're going to pretend like I was better prepared for filming. But if we're being honest, I basically prep for filming when I'm not doing it live in the exact same way. So who are we kidding? Like that's just how I am. Is that, yeah, it's more or less straight. Cool. So we've got our little review section. Absolutely just had a mild heart attack thinking I had spelled review wrong, but I was correct, so we're fine. So read. No, I still, do you know what? Why do I bother having a goal of 4 books when I basically always read more than that? Let's just have books read. Books read. And I'll just put the number. And like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's all we really need. Okay. Oh, wait, I need to do track. Or, yeah. So here. I don't know why I didn't think about changing that before now, because that has honestly been true for the last like 2 or 3 years. And I'm just like so stuck in my ways of how I set up the page that it just never occurred to me to do it differently. But we don't really need the goal. Like, I think at this point I've literally read 38 books. I think I'm on 38. And it's March and my goal is 50. Like, we're fine. I need to calm down. So that is our monthly setup. So take a little peek at how everything came out. So I've got a little quote. I actually kind of like this. It honestly, there is a part of me that is a little bit disconcerted by the fact that this is up at the top. Like, I don't mind this here, but I have this like weird thing where I kind of like having this at the bottom because it feels like it's right before you turn the page and it's like getting ready to start the next thing, which probably doesn't make sense. But I don't hate it. It's like, it's a nice little difference. I'll probably go back to my normal way next month, but it's a nice little difference. And then I've got my log and intentions, which look at me, all of my intentions are set up. I have definitely plenty of space down here, but that's fine. If I had thought about it for more than 2 seconds before just doing my boxes the way I always do, I would have done it down here, but it's fine. I don't really need more space. And I don't really, oh wait, I do have a couple of things. For some reason, I don't remember if I actually did my April. Oh yeah, I actually do have that information. Okay, so we can go ahead and fill in my upcoming, because actually in March, the only thing I've got written down, like I don't have any doctor's appointments coming up. Nobody really has birthdays in March, so it's pretty light month for that kind of stuff. But I have a couple things in April. So I'll go ahead and put those in, because one of the big ones is I have my holidays in the middle of the month. That's good. Yeah, March is no holidays, all work all the time, but you know, can't have holidays every month. Okay, so that is that, and I'll go through and I'll fill in all of like my work stuff later, but because I don't have any appointments right now, I'm not gonna mess around with that. Then I've got my tracker and reading. It's kind of bugging me that this is not centered. It will be centered when I write in how many books I read in March, but for right now it looks uncentered, but that's okay. I did that on purpose. So yeah, that is my March setup. Same thing kind of as normal, but yeah, I'm actually really pleased with the new setup for this year. I think that it's something I mean, I couldn't have done it previously because, especially a couple years ago when I was in the smaller size notebook, I wouldn't have been able to fit my tracker vertically like this, which I think was one of the reasons I ultimately like had switched it to horizontal. I could have probably done it last year, but you know, it's fine. But actually, I really like the way that it sort of is all laid out. It feels very, very functional, and I like having things all on one page, which, I mean, if you notice how I do my weeklies and my dailies, like I could do my weeklies up top here and do my dailies at the bottom. And I have done that in past bullet journals, but I tend to like to have like all of one thing on one page and something different on the other page, because just like how my brain looks at things, like that's sort of how my brain separates out information. And if it spans across two, sometimes things get a little iffy. So yeah, so that is my setup. Honestly, I wish I'm like, is that it? Is that like all we do? And I'm like, nope, it's actually just that simple. That is all we do. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I'm really excited for the advent of spring. It's actually been feeling a little bit spring-like lately. It's been kind of cold for a couple of days, but it's got that sort of spring feel in the air, which I'm really, really excited about because I'm kind of over the cold and I'm ready to wear some of my other outerwear that I can't wear when it's too cold outside. So yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah, if you have any comments or questions that you think of later, let me know down below and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, wait, one last check of the chat just to make sure, because I got really working. Okay, good. So I will see you all in the next video, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.